Did you know no one died building the St. Louis Arch?
Hello, and welcome to Revue de Bourbon, podcast dealing with all things bourbon. I'm your co-host, Dusty, and along with my co-host, Wayne, we're just a couple of guys who love to talk about bourbon.
Yes, sir.
So, whether you're at home, at work, or just stuck in your car, sit back, relax, kick your feet up, pour yourself a drink, and enjoy the show.
All right now.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back, everyone, to Revue de Bourbon. Okay, you want to hit that whistle there again, Wayne? Oh, nice. That's like an Indian whistle. Welcome back, everyone, to Revue de Bourbon. I am, as always, your esteemed host, Dusty Pockets, along with my co-host.
More esteemed.
Host.
Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne. How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah. How's things been going? Haven't seen you in a couple inches.
Yeah, it's been almost a coon's age.
Yeah, almost. About a half a coon's age.
About that.
We've been battling with ice and snow and winter vortexes and thunder snow, things like that. Snow typhoons. So we've had a little bit of trouble getting together, but we're here now. And, everybody gets down and out in the winter, but I get excited because it's time to just, sit in your favorite sitting chair, pour yourself a whiskey of your choice, and away you go. Stoke the fire. And that's a pretty good night to me.
Yeah, me too. And I've always liked the cold weather, too.
Mm-hmm.
I like being outside in it, especially in the snow.
Lets you know you're alive.
Yep.
And I think it's everyone's duty to enjoy, partake in one winter activity per year. Whether it's sledding, skiing, throwing snowballs, making a snowman, something to get in the spirit. So something we do to get in the spirit is drink bourbon, right? As bourbon drinkers.
Yeah, I do that to get in the spirit of all four seasons.
Probably a lot of our listeners do the same thing, I would guess. I think they're with us on that one.
I would say so, or else they wouldn't have made it this far.
That's true. All right, well, we're pretty excited to have this episode. I made a slight I bought the wrong bottle, basically. I meant to buy the new Jim Beam Rye, and I bought the old one. I was just confused on what was what. So we're going to be reviewing the old Jim Beam Rye along with the new Jim Beam Bonded bourbon. If you've listened to the show before, we've talked extensively on bonded bourbon and what that's all about. And if you want to go back and check out, we do a specific episode on bottled and bond whiskeys. So you can go back and check that out at reviewtobourbon.com and learn more about that. We won't get into that right now. So we're going to start with the Jim Beam Bonded. This is brand new. This is them kind of entering the bonded market. Did they have anything that was bonded?
It's probably re-entering. I'm sure they did.
Oh, yeah,
a long time
re-entering.
ago.
Yes.
But in the past years, I mean, nothing that I know of would have been. They're probably just, I'm sure they've lost some sales to Heaven Hill because all the good stuff they've got out in bonded, and are trying to compete.
Heaven Hill's definitely ruling the market in that category. And, you got to think, well, what are the hot whiskeys right now? It's kind of rye and bonded whiskeys, and they're coming out with both. Makes you kind of think they're cashing in.
Well, they did make Red Stag.
Yeah, they're kind of on the cash-in bandwagon.
Yep. As
we've seen over time. That's right. The Red Stag was, although that's caught on, it's not a terrible thing.
Who makes Fireball?
I think it's just Fireball.
Is it? Man, I can't drink that. It makes me...
I mean, I'll drink it, and I do from time to time, but...
I don't enjoy it.
You don't?
No.
What, just like pure sugar? Is that what it tastes like to you?
Yeah, just, it's...
Or do you not like cinnamon?
I like cinnamon a lot.
Yeah.
Like Red Hots are some of my favorite candies.
So you should love that.
I don't.
Well, I always thought, why not drink like Goldschlager or something? That
makes more sense.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined to drink that.
Or Hot Damn.
Hot damn, I like. Yeah, the 101 or whatever, or the 100. Hot damn 100.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all the rage, man. It's everywhere, and everyone is taking shots of it all the time.
Well, and people talk about how smooth it goes down. I have trouble stomaching that. Like my normal drink is 100 proof whiskey, but I can't stomach Fireball.
I would say that probably has something to do with the artificial corn syrup,
It might be.
and all that bullshit that's in there.
I feel like I need to wash it down with a nice glass of wild turkey.
Yeah,
As
you
my
got to wash
chaser.
it down with something. It's a little too flavorful. It almost tastes chemically.
Definitely a fad.
Oh, huge fad that they're making tons of money on.
Shitloads.
But, so Jim Beam is kind of a bandwagon company in that respect. But
That's not saying they don't have some good products.
yeah, that's not to say they're bad at all. And, I would do the same if I was a
business.
company. Yeah, that is business. So we're going to start with the bonded one. I'm pretty excited about this because we love bonded whiskeys. Just a couple of the guidelines that are on this bonded whiskey, that it must be 100 proof.
It's the first thing you notice on it. It's all right at 100 exactly.
Yeah, it's got to be right at 100 and aged at least 4 years. So that's what we're dealing with here. And they make it a point to put all those things on the bottle. Yeah. It even says single distiller, single season on the bottle. Mm-hmm. That's another couple rules that came about in 1897. We might as well throw that out there, too.
First Consumer Protection Act regarding food, drink, or drug in the United States was about whiskey. It still has to be done under government supervision to be called bonded.
That's
to
right.
make sure it meets all the requirements.
So that's what you're getting here.
I kind of want that job, the bonded whiskey inspector.
Mm-hmm. You'd be like the coolest guy walking around,
Or they might hate you and think you're a dick. I don't know.
Well,
because you'd just be enforcing regulations.
That's true.
But it would be fun.
Yeah, it would
because you
be
just
fun.
go. I don't know exactly what you do on a day-to-day basis, but you travel all around to these different distilleries.
I
all the
kind of
time.
think it's not that much.
Probably not.
Yeah, a lot of moseying.
Let's say you have to mosey.
A lot of
little bit.
bullshitting too.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of like, hey, how you been? Things, business good? Yeah.
Yeah, Norm, good to see you again.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, we better go take a look at that warehouse just for a minute. That's what I'm here for, after 30 minutes of conversation. But this is a good-looking bottle, don't you think?
Yeah, it is.
They spent some time on it, and I like the looks of it. It's just black and gold. It's got the classic look about it. The word bonded is the biggest word on the bottle.
Now, do you know if that has come out since Suntory bought?
It has. So that might have something to do with it.
I wonder if...
Although it has to be aged 4 years. So.
Yeah. So it may have been in the works before they bought it, or it could have been on its way to be something else.
Oh, that's true.
They could have grabbed it for that.
It's cool. On the side of the bottle, it has the pictures of the lineage of Jim Beam, of all the people that have passed through there. And then on the side, there's a little explanation. I won't go through it because it's really tiny and hard to read. But now it's time to taste.
All right.
Okay. Here we go with the brand new, hot off the shelves, Jim Beam Bonded. This is $23.99 where I bought it.
It smells really sweet. A little bit of like vanilla with a little bit of licorice.
I smell a woodiness. Definitely sweet. Yeah, I get a little oakiness. It smells really good.
It does. Smooth.
It's really smooth.
I'll have to have a bottle or two of this and get back with you on what I really think.
Yeah.
In a couple months. Or weeks, whatever.
Pretty flavorful, too.
It is. I was thinking, we do all these tastings, but you don't really know how you feel about the whiskey until you've had at least a bottle of it. I might have to buy
You'll have a much better idea.
Might have to buy one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely one of the better products from Beam that I've had.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about like this versus Knob Creek?
I'll tell you what, I like Knob Creek a lot better.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'd say I'd probably go with that too.
The Knob Creek is really good.
It should be better for what it is. But
I think it's appropriately priced.
Yeah.
They both are. In terms of bonded whiskeys, this is a little bit more expensive than most, at least the ones from Heaven Hill. Evan Williams, the J.W. Dant, the JTS Brown, those are all under $20.
Right.
And some way under 20.
Old Fitzgerald, it's usually like $13.
Right. Yeah, so this is 24. So, we're on the higher end of the bonded.
That is.
But it does have a good, I don't know, does it taste old-timey to you?
No.
It doesn't have that old-timey bonded taste that I usually have with others. Maybe I'm just used to, like, Heaven Hill products. You think that's it, part of it?
I don't know. I was just wondering the same thing. But it is good, though.
Very flavorful.
So much better than the white label.
I would definitely choose this 10 times over the white label.
Every time.
So that's pretty good. I would say job well done there. Yep. I don't know if, I was reading something about why they were doing it. And, bartenders have been using bonded bourbons for cocktails a lot, as it makes a good base. Because it's got that primitive kind of sharpness to it.
Right.
But it tastes really good. I don't know if this would be such a great or as good of a cocktail bourbon. I would say it's better on its own.
I think so. I don't think it would stand out as much as some of the other ones in a cocktail, like you would want it to. A lot of times you want a bourbon to blend into a cocktail, but if you're choosing a bonded bourbon, you want it to be the main focus.
Yeah, like in an old fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get any grain, but it's all of its like woodiness, and then kind of just flavor.
Makes it very sweet.
All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty non-offensive. Next, we got the Jim Beam Rye. You could call this the gold label or like cream colored label, lighter colored label. The new one, which is pre-prohibition style, which would have paired well with this bonded. I really dropped the ball there. This one is just a basic rye that they've had around for quite a while. It's 80 proof. Just kind of, nothing special. It's just been around, and that's about all I know. We'll see what we think of this. Good looking bottle, though. Nice basic bottle. Mm-hmm. They both look good. They both look kind of old-timey, classic.
That smells like Canadian Club.
Really?
Yep.
I am not familiar with Canadian Club.
I'm not saying anything bad about Canadian Club. I like it.
Oh, okay. Good cocktail whiskey.
Definitely. They smell a lot alike. Taste a lot alike.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of a rye, the rye is super weak.
Yeah.
The rye bite.
This would be more of a mixing rye.
Yeah, speaking of that, we had an old-fashioned made with this upstairs, and it was very... The whiskey didn't stand out at all.
This would be one that'd be good with, like if you just wanted to make like a rye and ginger ale or something like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Put it in something like that.
Yeah, a great like spritzer. But it does taste watered down. It's pretty weak tasting.
Yep. It's probably kind of what they were going for when they made it. I mean, it wasn't to appeal to
rye drinkers,
serious whiskey drinkers, or
this was out probably before the rye craze.
I would say so.
People looking for those like Willets and stuff like that. This doesn't really compare.
Because you probably wouldn't even know the difference between the Jim Beam Rye and just the regular Jim Beam.
It'd be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither one has very much character.
Yeah, this is just kind of unimpressive, but not terrible.
Not bad.
Just a basic mixer. That's what it is. Kind of like probably what the Wild Turkey 81 is. That's a silly whiskey, except for the fact of just making cocktails.
Yeah.
Then it makes a little more sense.
But I'd still rather have one with 101 in it.
Well, yeah, exactly. We'd all probably still like ours with the full strength. So that's interesting. They've definitely probably stepped up their game with this new rye.
Yeah, I look forward. We'll have to try it.
We'll do that. I'm thinking we put that in a lineup with a blind taste test.
That'd be a good idea.
And
throw some other ryes in there.
Yeah, around the same price level. All right, very interesting. Well, I would say overall, good job with Jim Beam.
Yeah, I like the Bonded.
Yeah, what would you give the Bonded on a 1 to 10?
Probably a 6.5.
What do you give it higher points for? What do you give it lower marks for?
The higher points would definitely be for just being an approachable bonded whiskey. It's good. I don't really have anything bad to say about it at all. It's just kind of right there, just as a good, slightly above average bourbon.
Yeah, I would say my biggest complaint is it just doesn't taste bonded.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that old-timey bonded taste. Otherwise, it's really good. I would definitely probably buy it again. It's a cool bottle. Looks cool sitting there. I'll probably get it again. I'll probably get it at a bar.
Yeah. They should have just called it the new improved Jim Beam and done away with the white
Oh, my
label.
God. That'd be so much better. So much better. So, overall, well done. I would give it a 6. I also recommend it if you're willing to venture out into that territory. Try something like that.
Yeah.
The Jim Beam Rye, I give probably a 3. I know it sounds harsh, but
That's what I was thinking, too.
it's just, I don't like to keep whiskeys like that around, so
I don't
have much use for it.
I try to kind of base my ratings off of pretty subjective, do I like it or not?
Yeah,
But then also, would I recommend it to somebody?
there's that
And
too.
There's a lot of ryes that I would steer people towards way before this one. Probably this would be one of the last ones.
If not the last.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ryes are so good to me because that flavor really cuts through, and it's not cutting through on this one at all.
Yeah, they need to have a kick.
Yeah. You could tell me that was a whiskey or a bourbon,
Yeah.
just a high rye bourbon, and I would have believed it.
You could tell me that was early times.
But
yeah,
it was
not bad.
just weak and lacking flavor.
Right.
We're going to move on to something here a little more unconventional, but first, a word from our sponsors.
All right, then.
This 4th of July weekend. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Prepare to get crushed, smashed, whammed, flashed, bashed. It's gonna be a showdown between all the monster trucks that you know, the world's best. With special appearances by Dump Truck, Fancy Pants, Hot Bot, Sasquatch, Monster Face, Jawbreaker, Faceplant, Kill Switch, Crunch Mouth, Toaster Oven, Cat Claw, Dog Pound. Super Mega Monster Truck Rally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Tickets are just $10. First 100 fans through the door get a free can of Ice House. Tickets are going fast, so buy now. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
All right. Hey, so our next tasting is from a micro distillery from Missouri.
Old Mizzou.
You know anything? Yeah. You know more than I do probably about Missouri. Do you know anything else about Missouri?
Let's see. Wasn't Missouri like a... Well, never mind.
No, go ahead.
Nah.
Let's hear it. Now you're too far in. Let's
Nah.
hear it. The listeners want to hear.
Let's see. I'll have to...
It's the pod
I'll have
waves.
to
No.
confirm this.
Just bring it up. Come on. No Google.
Weren't they like a northern slave state? Yeah, Missouri. Remember the Missouri Compromise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what that was all about.
There you go. Go ahead and tell us a little bit
That's what
about
they're famous
that.
for.
If some of you, not me, of course, but some of you may not remember what the Missouri Compromise is. Can you go ahead and give us a
That's
little
where
education?
they basically drew a line,
Like East Berlin and West Berlin?
kind of. And it was in 1820, and they prohibited slavery north of that line except for Missouri.
Oh.
Had nothing to do with politics at all. It was all about Henry Clay and people getting elected that needed to. And it was to balance power in the United States between the slave states and the free states.
So it like came down to that line.
That line. They drew that line to basically, I don't know, I'm no historian, but the way I understand it is it kind of kicked the can down the road.
Right.
Let's let future Congress deal with this shit.
Exactly.
And they did, and we had the Civil War. Henry Clay was actually a genius, even though he was a dirty politician. But I can't say too much bad about him, being he was from Kentucky and all, and probably a decent guy based on that alone. But
probably like to drink from time to time.
he probably
too.
like some bourbon.
Sure.
But yeah, that he came up with that idea to basically everybody went home from that session of Congress not happy, not disappointed, just kind of it solved nothing, but everyone quit arguing for a little while.
Okay.
So, as far as politics go, that makes that a genius move.
Definitely.
Even though it didn't take into account, anything like the value of human life or or any of that kind of thing. It was just about the balance of power and preventing war for now. By the time the Civil War came around, most of those people, it wasn't their problem anyway. So
you wonder how much of that goes on today.
I'd say a lot, maybe a lot more.
Who's from Missouri? Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
How about that?
He's a huge influence on a lot of people.
Well, Puddle of Mud's from Kansas City also.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's two, notable people.
Who was that guy from the Doobie Brothers?
Michael McDonald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Missouri.
And that's a treasure trove of music right there, that trio. That couldn't be farther apart from each other, really.
No, they couldn't.
You got yacht rock, rock, and the blues, essentially.
Yep.
All right, so from Missouri, to be more specific, Gravois Mills, Missouri. How do you think you pronounce that? Gravois? Gravois Mills?
One of those.
Man, I'm sorry to Mid-Best Distillery, but I don't know how to say your name of your town. Gravois Mills, Missouri. That's where it comes from. This is a nice little craft distillery out of there called Mid-Best Distillery, Inc. What we have here today is a handcrafted wheat whiskey and a handcrafted rye whiskey. These are both 100 proof. We're going to start with the wheat here first. These are interesting whiskeys. They're trying new things here, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's not just going for the normal stuff. These guys have a obvious passion for spirit.
Yep. And it looks like they're kind of shooting for making some pretty unique products.
It's got a cool label. So we're going to start with their wheat whiskey. What do you think of this one, Wayne?
I'll tell you what, the nose is sweet, almost like a brandy. I haven't had a whole lot of wheat whiskeys. I've had the Bernheim and a lot of wheated bourbons.
Yeah, but you're not a wheated bourbon guy, are you?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I like the ryes more, but I mean, this is it's very good. But I never guessed it was 100 proof.
I get a nice kind of like a dry fruitiness up front, maybe like an orange peel.
I'd like to give this to people that like Maker's Mark or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a lot of the same, where it's it's there's no burn going down because I think it's because of the wheat.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Yeah, but it's warm. It's warming.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the proof coming through. That's a nice one. Very nice one by them. That's just their wheat whiskey. I'm not for sure if that's 100% wheat, but I believe it is. All right, up next, we're going to their rye whiskey. Now, I tasted this before Wayne. Wayne came over, and I've been drinking this for a little bit, just kind of, sipping on it. I've let some other people taste it. Every time I've had it, I kind of feel differently about it. So when Wayne came over, I immediately shoved a glass in his face. And I just said, get your first taste out of the way, because this is very interesting. Okay, so what do you think of the just initial thoughts on the smell of this? I know you had it earlier, but what are you thinking now?
I still think it smells a lot like moonshine. Kind of white dog moonshine.
Yeah, I agree, but without the corn.
Yeah, there's no corn there. Mm-mm. I like the smell a lot more now on the second time around.
Initially, I get like raisins.
There's almost like a little bit of a rye bread.
Yeah, I get a nuttiness, kind of a nut bread raisin nut bread. What do you think about that?
Sure, whatever. But it
sounds pretty good, actually.
it's one of the most unique whiskeys I've had in a long time.
It is.
It's definitely not your typical rye. That is for sure.
No, it is very interesting, very complex. This is one that I've been, I told you with the mellow corn, I was bringing it around to other people and kind of, just toting it around and letting people try it. This is one that I've been kind of bringing around and just getting people's thoughts, because I would think with something like this, it's going to be all over the place. And I just kind of want to see how people are feeling in general about it, because it's fun to talk about. It's fun to drink. And I'm still trying to sort out my own thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a nice change of pace. I always like having things in my bourbon cabinet that aren't just bourbon. Kind of like the Heaven Hill Select stock that was aged in cognac barrels and ryes. It's nice to have something to kind of bounce back and forth from.
Now, that Select stock, where do you buy that?
I think just at the, no, it does pop up in liquor stores.
Does it?
I think you have to spend a lot of money in some high-end liquor stores, and maybe they can order it for you. I have no idea. I know it pops up in liquor stores, but they have it at the Visitors Center in Louisville, the Evan Williams Experience. But it's super high priced there.
Yeah.
It's
like over 100?
110 is what it's going for right now.
That's worth it.
Now, if you want to really expand your horizons, seek out a small micro distillery like this, craft distillery, because these are really good and they're really different. It makes you kind of wonder about the possibilities of whiskey, just in general.
Yeah, could it wind up being the same as the beer craze that
it certainly seems so with these
10
two.
years or so?
It seems like it.
Because you could compare those in a lot of ways to like some of the local craft distilleries around here. There's people that like if you go over to like New Albany, the New Albanian, there's beers that I have there that I love and I think are some of the best beers, if not the best beers I've ever had. And then you'll get somebody else that'll try it and they're like, oh man, I can't drink this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? This is the best beer there is. What are you talking about? And it's probably the same thing. Like, I'm so used to bourbon the way it should be that one of these is it's so different. At first it kind of throws you off just because it's not like your standbys that you have all the time. It could get to be kind of the same craze that Sam Adams or Sierra Nevada or whoever started with beer. It could happen to whiskey too.
It's certainly heading that way, no doubt. And I kind of felt that way with the George Dickel, that barrel select that we reviewed. Mm-hmm. That was such a completely different from bourbon taste.
Yeah.
That I didn't know what to make of it the first few times I had it. And this is kind of the same. It's good to get your palate, off of that bourbon train the whole time. Definitely worth trying. You guys should check them out. I would visit their Facebook or they're on Twitter as well. This place is called Mid-Best Distillery. They'll suit some of your needs if you're wanting to try something different, no doubt. Really good, fun stuff to drink, and we'll be sharing more about that on our social media. We participate quite a bit in social media. If you want to join on that train, find us on Instagram, Twitter, or Tumblr, or Facebook, all of those things. Basically anything that is popular, we're on there. And it's all under Revue de Bourbon, RevueDe Bourbon. And if you want to visit our website at reviewdebourbon.com, you can hit the PayPal button and leave us a nice little donation. It will be put directly back into the show, and we'll give you a shout out if you want it. If not, we can just say Anonymous gave us this bourbon.
And unlike the guy on your local street corner, we assure you it will go towards whiskey.
Yeah, there's no doubt it will go there. And we will personally let you know specifically what it went towards. And we can kind of have fun on the show together that way. That's where all of our backlog episodes are, by the way. We're about, this is our 25th episode, by the way, Wayne. Did you know that?
Did not.
Yeah, we're 25 in. And I think we definitely have another 25 left in us.
I think so.
Yeah. There's
at least that much whiskey left.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, at least. So thanks to Mid-Best Distilling Company, Inc., for having us try these new whiskeys. That was really exciting. Thanks to Jim Beam for coming out with some new bourbons and ryes. It's an exciting time to be in the world of whiskey right now.
Mm-hmm. And thanks to Rolling Rock for being a good palate cleanser in between whiskeys.
So, on behalf of Dusty Pockets and
Wayne Campbell,
this has been Revue de Bourbon. Thanks, everybody, so much for listening. And we'll see you next time on the Podwaves right here on Revue de Bourbon.
Good night. None of you out there can tell me you know the voting record of your local district representative for your state Congress.
This place is called Mid-Best Distillery.
And don't miss our 3rd annual beer bonging contest.
Don't quote me on it.